And then we slide on into the world of employment and run head on into the cardinal rule. Don't tell anyone how much you make or how little you make or how much your bonus was or your benefits or your vacation or your just don't, or else you can get fired. Like I said, utter horse crap. And then just to put a delicious icing on the cake, when we do decide to start a side hustle or a business of any sort, something different from what we've been doing, God forbid you share your monthly revenue publicly or your bottom line. You're listening to the Unshackle Your Life podcast with Debbie Colburn, and each week we talk all things money, business, personal growth, and we dive deep, exploring the hundreds of things that shackle us unconsciously from our own true potential. And you'll discover tips and tactics to start unlocking your shackles and release an extraordinary life. Thanks for spending time with me today, and let's dive right in. My oh my, we are back diving into all things money, business, careers, and breaking through the hidden things that are holding each of us back. It's a restart, moving away from the shame and the anxiety, the self-sabotages, and the drama that we create in our own lives, leaning into the uncomfortable. And I'm right here beside you all the way, no matter what's going on in your life right now. Maybe you're in survival mode, just barely getting by, living day to day, paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're in a job or a career or a business that's leaving you empty, depleted, uninspired, or maybe anything in between. I've got your back. Get your favorite drink, pop those earbuds in, and get yourself nestled into a quiet spot. Are you there? I heard the yeses, so buckle up. Take a deep breath. Join me in a conversation about jump-starting your life and breaking free of your shackles and create the life that you really, really want. Welcome to episode number 62. No one can have a happy, healthy, supportive relationship, a strong career, or a thriving and expansive business if you are unwilling to be open to talking about money. There, I said it. And you either thought, not an effing chance, Debbie, just not doing it. Or, I try, Debbie, I really do, but no one else will. Or, every time I do open up, the people around me tell me to stop talking about it, that it's not right, and go on to poo-poo my goals and my dreams, even my plans. You want to know why? Because we've been taught to keep our earnings and our savings and investments private and to never, ever share our money challenges, those struggles that every single one of us has. You are not supposed to air your dirty laundry. You are not supposed to reach out and get different perspectives and ideas about money. You're supposed to know how to handle money when you come out of the womb, when you're born. Well, that's BS. It's point blank BS. Horse crap. Old-time generational thinking passed down through the family. Generation after generation. In-laws come in, pass on some more hybrids to that. Done with care and love and compassion, airing your dirty laundry can be a beautiful gift. Your friends and your families and your coworkers are not stupid. They are not blind. They can see with a quick, educated guess that you are living beyond the current available resources you have coming in. That your white lies don't jive with what they see. Imagine if they could see inside your walls. That's scary as hell. And if you are a parent or a grandparent, no matter what age the kids are, chances are that you started that cycle of secrecy, totally innocently, with reminders like, don't tell your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, I gave you that. Anybody ever heard that? Yeah, me. Don't tell anyone how much your allowance is. How about that? Ever those words ever come out of your mouth? I bet they have. Step away from your piggy bank. Don't touch your piggy bank money. Yep, me too. We don't talk about how much Dad makes, do we? No. That was like, just keep it shut. And then we slide into the world of employment and we run head on into the cardinal rule. Don't tell anyone how much you make or how little you make or how much your bonus was or your benefits or your vacation or your just don't, or else you can get fired. Like I said, utter horse crap. And then, just to put a delicious icing on the cake, when we do decide to start a side hustle or a business of any sort, change what you're doing, God forbid you share your monthly revenue publicly or your bottom line. You're arrogant, you're a braggart, you're an a-hole. The names that you can be called are endless, and rarely are they nice. And it comes from both people in your close circle, those closest to you, and from complete strangers. It's okay for the public companies to do it. In fact, it's a legal requirement. Most people they simply can't read the financial disclosures anyway. And so much of the real story of the public companies is buried in the lines that you never see or in the notes that you never want to read. But as a small business, to share your financial successes and your money shortcomings, they say you have no scruples. Really? John Lee Dumas, creator of the long-running Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast, was one of the early online business owners to openly publish his monthly revenues and bring his accountant on air with him, something he still does to this day. And Brooke Castillo of the Life Coach School, she's brutally confident and open about her money targets and her earnings, currently having a $37 million year with a lifetime goal of $100 million years. We're not all in that realm. Most of us can't even imagine what that would be like. But what I'm saying is they are talking about money openly. And that's important. Do you think you could achieve any of your goals without totally owning them? And your screw-ups and your mistakes and your poor judgments and your overspends without enrolling others in them? Without being open to the perspectives and ideas of others to help you, to make changes, to improve what you're doing, even if it's going well, to make it even better? No, you couldn't. Even if your target in 2021 is to make an extra $10,000 a year, or drop another $1,000 in your savings, or cut your credit card debt in half, you just couldn't. Every one of us needs someone else's eyes and ears and ideas to grow and move forward. We all know that the number one stressor in any relationship is finances, money, or lack thereof. And in business, and in your life, in your own life, in your family's life, it's exactly the same. So does it not make sense to talk about it? To find out how others are handling situations like yours? What challenges and successes are they having or have they had? And share what you're doing, what is and what isn't working. What did they do? What worked for them? What didn't work for them? Why do they think it didn't, or why do they think it did? If you're not open to talking about money, you can't find that out. You're stuck. To discover get pointed to resources to help shift your money bubble, you need to be open. And it sure as heck does help. It's why I talk a lot about money on this podcast. But first, let me say that I'm not talking about having, oh, woe is me, I'm the victim conversations with your friends. You know, the ones that are littered with them saying, me too, or us too, or my family doesn't support us either, or we can't afford, there's never enough type sentences. Blaming everyone else for the situation that they are in, the cycle of crisis that is on repeat in their lives. That's not what I'm talking about when I say conversation, open conversation. And that was me for a long, long time. I blamed my ex for not paying the approximately $83,000 in past child support that he legally owed me and the kids. For over 20 years, I dragged that excuse through my life. People are resistant to talking about money because of shame or fear of being judged. It, like everything we help you work through, is inextricably linked to self-worth, way down deep. And that works both ways. Make a little money or be in the high 6 and into the 7 figures a year, both ends of the spectrum and every point in between. People are afraid of what others will say about them if they open up about money, earned and challenges. And I know that firsthand. I lived out my decade of poverty, carefully crafting a story to disguise my absolute lack of money so no one would judge me, so I could hide my shame. But I was just fooling myself. People knew. Well, those close to me knew. Those who were willing to ask the right questions knew. The ones that were open, the ones that were watching. And I was the one who chose to help myself change that once and for all. I was done with it. I followed what Phil Knight from Nike said, if I don't figure out a solution to this money problem, I'm going to die. And I went all in on that. Being open about money means you first have to identify, what is your reality? How much do you bring in? How much do you spend? How much do you have put away? And how much do you owe? Today, right now, you, your partner, kids, every member of your immediate household, that bubble, in your business, all your sources of revenues and of expenses. It's a complete inventory of your money package. It doesn't matter what you think your net worth is. Again, most people don't even really know what that term net worth means. So just forget you ever heard that term, okay? So what I'm talking about is something like this. Our family brings in $7,200 a month. So that's all sources after all taxes and deductions have been taken from it. We spend $6,877.15 every month. And most people grossly underestimate what they spend and on what. So take your time here. Most banking services, the online banking services and credit cards have some really great tools for dissecting this. And just don't go on, I think. We want reality here. There is a total of $18,595 in savings, investments, and security deposits. Yep, don't forget those deposits like hydro or to your landlord if you have a last month's rent paid in advance, something like that. And we owe $372,000 total. Mortgage, credit cards, loans, etc. Even if you owe money to a friend or to family, it has to be included. Don't pull the wool over your own eyes. You want the real picture. And then you can start looking for patterns by simply listing everything you remember about money, what's called money memories, that didn't bring you true, long-standing joy, and pleasure. Like my pattern of not paying debts completely. Honestly, I had no idea I was doing that. There is always a pattern. So start with the strongest memory that you have, and work through from today to as far back as you can remember. Things long forgotten will start to percolate up to the surface over the next few months. So I know if you're still with me, the question on the tip of your tongue is, how do you bring up the topic in conversation? Well, if you're asking that question, I can presume you have a person in mind that you want to have a conversation about money with. Is it your wife, your husband, your partner, child, someone you're dating maybe, even a parent or a close friend, coworker, employee? Something to consider is this: is my desire to have a conversation because we already have a money-related issue that is causing disagreement or conflict? So often this is where we start. Emotions are charged. Verbal knives are sharpened and ready for action. Tension and stress is high, and things explode. I know it sounds easy, but at this point, you really have to find a collaborative way to start turning the money tide. And identifying the differences between your money personalities is a great place to start. And putting the money stories of each of your families onto the table, the discussions at the dinner table, the things you hear your family say on a regular basis, with no judgment. My ex and I had similar money backgrounds and both spent to make up for the emotional vacuum in our marriage. We lived 10 plus years in constant financial stress, despite the fact that I made a really good salary as a professional accountant. We lived in hovels. We drove junk cars we could pay $100 for, bought stuff on credit cards that was gone before the bill was paid, maxed them out like they lived at max. We brought the worst out money-wise in each other. Neither one of us was willing to admit we might be part of the problem and that something needed to change. I was always right, so was he. Sound familiar? I know the marriage was not for me, but I do wish I knew back then what I know now about my money blocks, my limiting beliefs, and my money personality. And sadly, his hasn't changed much. And I'm reminded of that as I watched him spend his parents' inheritance on big things while living in a broken house. Sometimes one partner is more ready than the other, and that's okay. Remember, when I'm talking about partner, I'm talking about some sort of a relationship. It doesn't have to be in your family. It can be your business partner as well. It can be a close friend. It could be your best friend. You can simply share stories from your past and reflect on them from the present you. Sometimes one's partner is never ready, but it's your own life, and you have everything you need to keep you moving forward. And you can start creating how you see the future, money-wise, not just in the bank, but in terms of experiences and how you would like to see your lives and what you might have to learn, change, get rid of to do that. Even if your partner is resistant, take your baby steps. Things like staying on top of your own credit score, taxes, and so on, and share what you are learning and what is moving the needle for you. I just have to say, since I've seen this in some people, your credit score does not define you. It is a number created by the banking and the financial industries to arbitrarily calculate their own risk, and it is skewed to them. It is a reference point, not a picture of you. It is absolutely not a true picture of you. You are you, with all your flaws, with all your strengths, with all your compassion and all those things. They don't show up in your credit score. Your life partner or your family member or business partner may never ever come along, may never get on board with you. Deal with that if it ever happens. But more than likely they will. Slowly but surely. As long as you are doing it with integrity, with love, and with no judgment. No judgment. It's harder than it sounds. But no judgment. For real. Just zip it. Whether it's family, friends, business partners, live in the world of the questions, using who, what, where, when, and how, the open-ended ones. Even using which one works. What is ultra powerful when paired with the word if is the what if question. So I'm just going to say it. Stories and goals. Embed your money question or your money topic in one of those two. Start easy. Start curious. Start interested. That's it. That's all. Do the same thing for your business. Then you have a good, strong starting point. Track it. Journal on it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Live into it. So we're here, the end. Time for the question when I ask everyone at the end of each episode. Now I want you to take some time and give it some thought. What is the worst thing that could happen if you unlock just one of your shackles today? I'd love to connect with you and hear your stories and help you out where I can. So don't forget to leave a comment or shoot me a DM. And yes, it's me reading each one of them and responding. Hey guys, if you found this podcast helpful and think it could help someone else, please send them the link. It's in the show notes. And then drop a review in wherever you're listening. And then come on back and hang with us some more. Let us help you keep moving forward. We're simple to find on the interwebs. MS Debbie Colburn, that's MS Debbie with an IE, Colburn with an OUR squished between the B and the N on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and yes, on our website. See y'all next episode.